Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on the time of the day that you're watching this video across Africa. I want to introduce you to a new web app called FuelAudit NG because it was made in Nigeria, but it's a solution for independent oil marketers across Africa who as a couple of filling stations and where they still operate their accounts manually. FuelAudit, of course, uses AI assisted checks to reconcile sales, deposits, and receipts in real time, and then it helps to highlight expected versus banked variances, and then it preserves reliable audit trail across stations. So if you have one station, you have a couple of stations, and you don't have big budgets for the big software that's available in the market, FuelAudit is your to-go software for you to be able to mitigate against, of course, variances that you would not otherwise be able to detect immediately unless you physically have to go down to maybe your accountant or your station manager, as the case may be. But in this case, you have a simple dashboard where you'll be able to, see what's going on, the sales that was made that day, receipts, probably diesel or PMS that was received that day without having to leave your location or having to go to all the branches. So let us now see how this works. So this is the login page of the web app. Of course, you can also access it via your mobile phone with your assigned URL. So this is what the login page looks like. So you can track variance, point of sale it is point of sale aware, and it is audit friendly. So you can record receipts, sales and deposits in seconds, and see expected versus banked amount at a glance. And the beauty of it again is that there's segregation of duties. So that means you have someone who is selling as a different login page, someone with receiving inventory as a different login page, but you as a station owner have a dashboard where you can view everything across all your stations. So let us log in and see what we've done. I have one created for a demo account for a fuel station in Kenya, and I named it M-Pesa oil. So let's log in and see what it looks like. So this is what the dashboard looks like. So the first thing you want to do, if for example you are subscribing to this in Ghana or in DRC or in South Africa, you go to the settings page where of course you choose your organization currency. So let's say you are in Kenya. That is why you see that default is Kenya shillings. We'll convert it to Ghanaian cedi, and then you save, and then we'll go back to the dashboard. I will see that the currency is now reflected in Ghanaian cedis. So let us now walk through. Let's make do with this. You can see from the user account we only have the admin, whose name is Eric, and from here we can create other users as we go. So let's just go through the tabs one after the other for the purpose of the demo. So in the tab dashboard, as the station owner, you can see all your stations. You can drop down by date. We don't have any station created yet, so we don't have any stations there. You can see your revenue dashboard in the last 14 days. You can see the payment channel by splits, payment splits by channel, and then you can see variances across your station. Now the point is that the AI helps you to aggregate what your workers, meaning the inventory guy with receiving and the account guy with recording sales, what they are doing, and then the AI system will be able to calculate if there's any balance or surplus or something is off, and amount of liters that was sold. So then you come to the receipt page where you can lodge by station how many liters was received, receipted, the unit cost, the waybill, as the case may be, and any note. And then the sale page shows what was sold and an amount and the date. The deposit page, that is usually, which is standard practice, the next day, as the case may be. The account fixed to that station, be able to make deposit of the amount sold, or maybe the bank comes around and then it lodges and then it records what was deposited, and then the bank name, and then reference number, as the case may be, and the date. And then the daily report also shows everything that was done, and you can export it for an auditor so you can see what is expected revenue sales for that day, the deposit amount, if there are any variances, if there's any brought forward from the previous day, and then if there's any cash in transit, which calculates whatever was not banked the previous day, as the case may be. And then we have sales by products and channel. We show up here receipts of products that are stocked in, and then bank deposits. Complete system, AI powered. And then we'll go to the stations tab, where of course you can create your stations, and they will appear here. And then we'll go to the products tab, where you can list your products by the code, by the name, and they will appear here. And then we'll go to the users, where you can assign roles, cashier and inventory mostly, and then the admin manager auditor has the same access level. And then settings, I showed earlier, the only thing you need to do here is to change the organizational currency, and then the activity, of course, shows in and out of what happens per station, and you can do date range and export. So let us start. Let's see how this works. It's a long demo, so you have to exercise some patience to watch, so that you'll be able to appreciate fully how FuelAudit NG is way better than whatever you're doing manually, and of course it's cheaper than the other software that's available in the market. So the first thing we want to do is to create the stations, of course. So since we're in Ghana, we can say Accra 1, and we say kilometer 12, Accra Expressway, and then city will be Accra, and then of course maybe city will also be Accra in Nigeria. I don't know much about locations in Ghana, but I wanted to do this demo. By the way, we should be using, since we're using Pesa oil, we should be using Kenyan shillings. So we'll go back to, for the purpose of demonstration, we'll go back, change this to Kenyan shillings, we'll save, and then we'll go back to stations creation, and this time around we create, so we'll make it Nairobi 1, and then kilometer 12, Nairobi Expressway, and then this will now be I don't know, maybe Ashanti County, as the case may be, and then we say Nairobi. Why do I keep on Nairobi? And then we'll save. Once we save, of course, we'll now have this, so we can do Nairobi to Nairobi 2. We'll just say Eric County. Now we'll say kilometer 3. Same expressway, Nairobi, just for the purpose of demonstration, Nairobi Expressway, and then Eric County as well, and then we'll say Nairobi. Good. And then we'll save. So we now have 2 stations, okay? All right, so I hope I got the spelling right. Apologies to my friends in Kenya if I didn't get that, but I'm sure I did. All right, so we created the stations. The next thing we want to do is to create the products. All right, so the products, depending on this is, since you can see that it's in liters, we're assuming that those who are using, assuming that of course this is for oil marketers, so it's in liquid liters, but of course you can decide to use it for any of your SKUs. So we'll create products. The first one will be PMS, which is the premium motor spirit, and then the price, let's say, is per liter is 40 Kenyan shillings. We'll say. And then the next one will be AGO, which is diesel, and let's assume it's 100 Kenyan shillings. I mean, I'm just plucking this out of my head for the purpose of demonstration. All right, so that's the products are created. The next thing we want to do now is to create the users. So the two roles we'll have will be the inventory and the cashier. Inventory is the guy that receives when this is sent to the station and is received, we'll lodge it. And then the cashier will be the guy who is selling or reconciling the figures of sales and the lodgements in the bank. So let's have these guys. So the lady will be Grace at Gmail. You can use any email for this, but it could be at Yahoo. The email doesn't have to exist. It's just for the system to be able to work. So Grace will be the cashier. All right. And then the beauty about it is that we can hardwire Grace to a particular station so that she can post to another station. That's the beauty of the software again. So for audit-ready, that we only have an accountant in Nairobi 1, so she cannot post to Nairobi 2. We'll have another one for Nairobi 2 for subscribers who are on that one station. So we hardwire her to Nairobi 1. We'll give her a password. Save. So we'll now have Grace, and then the next person we want to have is Oliver, and then Oliver will be the inventory guy. That will be Oliver at gmail.com, and then of course still Nairobi 1, and then we create it. So we have the team ready now. Eric is like the admin, is not attached to any station. Oliver is the inventory person. Grace is the cashier, and then you can deactivate the account in case the person leaves the system, or you can edit so that you can change the password to give the user to a new staff, as the case may be. So I think we have what we need to start the business. So no sales. Today is 15th. Everything is clean. So we have now the dashboard, we now have products, AGO and PMS, as the case may be. So you as the admin, you probably not be recording sales, but you can decide to be recording sales or receipt, as the case may be. But let us now that you've created your staff user login, so we want to assign it to them. So let's log in as each one of them. But before we do that, we'll log out from the main account. Firstly, we need to log in as Oliver to receive some products. So let's log out. Log in as Oliver. It's there already. So you see what Oliver sees, which is part of the audit friendly interface. So Oliver, as an inventory person, you can see that all the menu is gone. So welcome Oliver for Pesa oils. So Oliver cannot do a drop down to post another station. So he is hardwired to Nairobi 1. So Oliver gets to choose, of course, which products is receiving, how many liters. So let's say it's receiving 100 liters. and we can leave the cost as because we had put the cost in product when we're setting up the product, and then put the waybill number or ref number depending on what kind of invoice your supplier brings your product. So let's say 447473 delivery from Shell, for example. So Oliver will now post, but Oliver cannot see the main dashboard, and don't forget so that Oliver will not be able to maybe edit anything. So Oliver has to be sure what he's posting, and of course we will also have the physical records for audit purposes. So then you save, and then that's gone. So Oliver has received this 100 liters. So we'll log out again and log in as the station manager or the owner of the business. Let's go confirm what Oliver received. So of course the dashboard will still show that there's no sales, but let's look at daily reports. So under daily reports we don't have any sales, but we have the receipts. So that's 100 liters, which is 40 Kenya shillings, and then of course that's the big total 4,000. So it has recorded stock, and then if we go to activity, we should have it recorded as well. So it will show that we had the receipt from Nairobi 1, and we know that has to be Oliver because Oliver is the only receipt inventory guide there. We have the movement, which is in the waybill number, the note, delivery from Shell, and of course we can export for the purposes. So that is clear. Yeah. So let's log out now. Let's go back to users. So remember that now let's make Grace sell some quantity. So let's see what it looks like. So don't forget that we only have 100 liters of PMS, and it's 40 Kenyan shillings. Okay, so let's log out and let's see what now the account or the cashier's interface looks like. So log in as Grace, and then we'll sign in. So what Grace sees is two menus for Grace. That is a sale and then deposit. All right. So let's assume now at the end of the day, out of the 100 liters for PMS, Grace sold 20, and the total amount of sales that Grace recorded, don't forget, is 40 Kenya shillings per liter. So that will make it total of 800 Kenya shillings. It's deliberate that it's not automatically computed, so that Grace should be able to, because if she puts a different figure here, at the end of the day it's going to now reduce the liter to below 40 Kenya shillings per liter, because the system is going to compute it to the average, to the amount of the value of the PMS that was hardwired or coded into the system. So that's why she has to enter this manually here, because of course she has a record of what she sold. So she's recording the sale. All right, so she sold 800 Kenya shillings. Now she wants to deposit now. Normally she's supposed to deposit 800 because she sold 800. So to see how the variance thing works, let's go say she now deposits 700 Kenyan shillings. Okay, and then the bank is Bank of Nairobi. Reference might be the waybill number 747645, and then she saves. So as far as Grace is concerned, she's done her work. She recorded sales, she recorded deposit. Now let's log out as Grace and see what happens on the dashboard. All right, so now we have a record now showing what happened. So what we're looking at now is the shillings, Kenyan shillings expected revenue, because remember she sold 800, she banked 700 Kenyan shillings. The system automatically flagged that she's 100 Kenyan shillings short, and of course it gave us amount of product that was sold, which is 20, and remember it's 40 Kenyan shillings per liter, so we expected to have 800 in the bank. So this already flagged, that there's a problem. So you can see that it has recorded what revenue we're expecting, but the variance. So as a station manager, this is where you look at across all your stations, and then we'll come down here. You can see that it has already told us that we have 100 Kenyan shillings variance for Nairobi 1. We didn't make any sales for Nairobi 2. And then if you come to daily reports, it's still going to also reflect the sales that was done, which of course what should be the amount, which is 800, but the variance is showing here that we have variance of 100, and it's assuming that there's a cash in transit of 100 that Grace did not deposit, which of course it's showing here, which is also a variance, and then it's showing how much was deposited and by what method. And then if we now go to activity, we're going to see a rundown of everything that happened. So a deposit was made, don't forget, we made a sale, we made a receipt to start with, we made a sale, and we made a deposit. So even from the activity report, you can see that there's a problem as an auditor, that look, you made a sale of 800, but I'm seeing a deposit of 700 against this date and against this station. Of course, we only have Nairobi 1 where we have operation going on. So this is basically how this system works. It's a verifying tool for oil marketers across Africa who are currently using Excel to balance their accounts, and who are currently maybe too scared to sign up for the big software, and just for you to look at how much it costs. So it's the pricing is simple. It's $250 for a 6 months subscription, and if you want to go for a year, it's for $50. Of course, it requires a $5 one-time payment, and then we do a demo, 7 days demo, for you to see how it works. So please click the link below so that you can book a demo as well, and then be able to stop all the leaks, sales leaks that happen in your station. And then from the comfort of your sitting room, or you are on vacation, you can always log into the system and see what's happening across your station within your country, or for those who have outside the country, across Africa as the case may be. Thank you very much for watching.